Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Grue Room. And for the Grue Room today, we got a very great guest. She is the metal queen. She's a rock and roll icon, and her name is Doro. And she was part of a band called Warlock. And I'm really looking forward to talking to her and finding out about her music career, her rock and roll life, and being the metal queen that she is. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Room, and my interview with Doro is coming up next. Okay, welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for coming on. It's such an honor for you to come on the show. Like you're awesome. You are the queen of metal.
That's very kind of you. I'm so happy to be part of your show. And, yeah, I love it, and yeah, many things to talk about and all that good stuff.
Awesome, thank you. So, like, the first thing I wanted to start out asking you is, when did you fall in love with rock, metal, and how did everything get started?
Actually, I think I fell in love with music when I was like 3 years old, and it was actually one song. I don't know if you know the song, but it was Little Richard, Lucille. I can't see what I'm doing. Can you just check it? My assistant just has to check because there's something on the computer. I don't know if that's correct. Oh, I don't know. That's correct. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah, now I can see you because there was something, but yeah, it's all good. Okay. Yeah. So I was about 3 years old, and I listened to one song, and it was Little Richard, Lucille. And I grew up in a truck. My dad, he was a truck driver, and we were like on the road every day since I was a baby. And he loved music, and of course, I love music. We listen to the radio every day. Yeah, and this one song, Little Richard, was here. That was it for me. And then I wanted to become a singer. And actually, I was growing up in the glam rock times. It was like heavily influenced with T-Rex, Mark Bolan, Sweet Slade. Later on, then Kiss and all that good stuff, and Alice Cooper, Susie Quadro. And yeah, and then I was 15 and I had my first band. It was called Snakebite.
Oh, wow.
I had my second band, Beast, then Attack, and then Warlock. And we formed in 1982. And it was just the beginning when metal became really big. And we were all from Germany. And we were just doing it for fun. It was like, oh, we loved it. And we were rehearsing every day. That was our rule. Yeah, and then it was like a fan club, and they sent out little cassettes, and we didn't even know about it. And then in between, like 2 weeks, we had 4 independent record deals on the table. Oh, wow. And now we said, wow, doing a record, yes, awesome. And one guy in our band, he said, no, I don't want to do it. And we said, you have to. He said, why? We're having so much fun. And then we tried to convince him. So later on, he said, okay, I record with you guys. And, so we had this first record out, and it was Burning the Witches. That was the title. It was a Belgium label, and we signed to that label because it had the coolest logo. It was like, mausoleum, like on each M, there was like 2 drops of blood. And we thought,
yes.
So metal. So that was actually the main reason. And and it was like the start of everything. And we had no idea that people would know about our band. And then I think in 4 weeks, it sold like crazy. And then we got the first gigs, and then we went to England, and we played a lot in the Netherlands and Belgium, because Germany, it's now a huge metal country, but in the early 80s, it was pretty small. So we toured mostly outside. Yeah, and then when we were in England, then we played in a few years later, the legendary Monsters of Rock festivals in 86.
Yes.
Ozzy Osbourne, the Scorpions, Motorhead, Def Leppard, Bon Jovi. and it was like 80,000 people going crazy. And then we got like a big chance to go on tour with Judas Priest. That was my favorite band, and it was so big in '86. Oh my God! And then I could go to America and do a little promotion tour on our third album. That was called True as Steel. First one was Burning the Witches, then Hellbound, and then True as Steel. And we finally got an American release. It was, very small, but I could do a promotion tour, like 2-3 days. And then after 2 days, I thought, I want to stay. Then we did one record that was called Triumph and Agony, and that's what I showed you before. That's now we celebrated the 35th anniversary, and it's the Triumph and Agony live. And Triumph and Agony looks
Nice.
similar, with the Warlock here, and that was like, that was actually our most successful record in the States in '87. And then we hopped on tour with Ronnie James Dio, the legendary Ronnie James Dio.
Yes.
Was so awesome, my favorite singer. And in the States, it was a long club tour and then a big tour with Megadeth. And then we took it from there, and it was like, that was like the beginning. And I never thought that we would ever, we would ever make it or, tour the world. And now 20 records later, we're still doing it. And I'm still, as excited as I was in the beginning. Actually, now a little bit more, because now I know what it means. And in the beginning, you're just doing what you love, and but I still love music, more than anything in this world. And,
Wow. Okay. And like you said, like you were on tour with these mega bands, like on tour with Dio and Motorhead, Judas Priest. Like how was it like being on tour with all these big name bands?
It was so amazing because they treated us so good. It was unbelievable. And and we're still friends. Like, and my best friend, that was Lemmy, definitely Lemmy and Ronnie James Dio. We toured actually many times together. And the first time in '87, we didn't talk much because, our band, we couldn't speak English that well. So it was like, short, nice conversations, but short. And then we toured 2000 together in America, like 3 months tour, and then we became great friends. And Lemmy, he was my first, he was the first one I did a duet with in 2000. Actually, we did 2 duets. There was the Calling Wild album. We did Alone Again, beautiful song Lemmy wrote, and Love Me Forever. It's a Motorhead classic. And then we did many songs together. We always toured together. We played some, a Wacken festival. I don't know if you're familiar. That's
I heard of that.
European Metal Festival. It's awesome. It's awesome. So, and we always hopped on each other's stages, when we had like, something to celebrate, the anniversary or something. And Lemmy was definitely my best friend, and he treated me like unbelievable. And I was treated really good by everybody, like Dio and Motorhead, and we toured with the Scorpions. That was awesome. And and then Saxon was one of my favorite bands. I love the new wave of British heavy metal in the early '80s. That was very influential, and that was my first tour in the UK. And Blackie Lawless, he had it down with the whole show, and and the audience participation. And I must say, I could definitely learn from the best. It was always great, like when you're a young band and then you meet all your heroes, that's awesome. And then when you can tour together, you learn so much. And I told you before, I was a big Kiss fan growing up. And then one time I had the great chance to work with Gene Simmons. It was 1990. He was the producer, and he wrote many songs for our album. And it was like, that was a dream come true. And he was super nice, super smart, very caring, very intelligent, and and we're still great friends. Like,
oh, really?
Each other, usually on festivals. And the last festival we did it was the Czech Republic a few years ago. And then he said, hey, let's do something together. And then we did War Machine. I love that song. So and then he said, okay, you sing. And I said, let's sing together. He said, oh, take take the stage, do it. And I thought, oh, and then I felt this feeling of being totally supported again. That was so great. And in 1990, it was the same. He was the producer, and he tried everything in the book to, yeah, to support us. And it was great that even somebody would take the time to do it. And so yeah, so I was really lucky. You know.
Wow, that's so awesome.
Big memories, yeah.
So like working with Gene Simmons, did you ever get a chance to tour with Kiss?
No, not touring, but how we started. I got a phone call from a promoter in Germany, and he did. There were a few months of rock festivals in the 80s, and the biggest one was in England, Castle Donington, but there were a few in Germany as well.
Mhm.
And I think there were like over 60, 70,000 people as well. So one time, the promoter of the German Monster Rock, he called me and he said, "Doro, I heard you're a big Kiss fan, right? Is that true?" And I said, "Yes, totally, totally. I love Kiss." He said, "Would you like to introduce Kiss, you know, when they will play here, the Monster Rock Festival?" And I thought, oh my God, yes. And I was in LA doing a video or something, and I flew over immediately. And then it was the first time that I met Kiss and that I met Gene Simmons. And a little bit later, I told my manager I would love to do something together, maybe doing a song together, or, you know, and he said, "No, drop that idea because they definitely don't have time for that stuff," you know. And I said, okay, I'm just asking. It's okay, you know. And then a few weeks later, the phone rang. My manager said, you know, meet me. Yeah, I was living in New York City, and he said,
Mhm.
"There's this hotel where you first came to New York. You stayed in the same hotel, and you have to meet me there." And I said, "Parker Meridian Hotel." That was like the it place back in the 80s.
Oh wow.
Yes, Parker Meridian Hotel, 57th Street. So, and I said, well, what is it for? Is it a meeting, or is it friends or fans? He said, "No, it's a surprise." I said, okay. So I hopped in the taxi, and then you know, he met me outside, my manager, and I said, "So, Alex, now tell me, who is it? You know, I want to know." He said, "No, no, you will see." And I said, "No, I want to know. Please tell me." And then he said, "Gene Simmons. It's Gene Simmons." And I said, "You must be kidding." And you didn't tell me before. And I got so nervous, and I was so excited. And I had to walk 3 times around the block. And then, and then my manager, Alex Grove was his name, he said, "Man, you know, we can't let Gene wait, you know, forever. You know, you got to be ready." I said, "Yeah, I'm ready." And then we met in the hotel lobby, and we talked about, you know, new album. We told him what I wanted to, or like do, and, you know, which songs and sounds. And then he said, "Oh, that's very interesting." And he wrote everything down. And I thought, wow, that somebody was listening so carefully and writing stuff down. That was amazing. And then he said, "Yeah, let's try it, you know. If nothing comes out, nobody would know, and it doesn't matter. We just have fun." And yeah, and then we hit it off great, and we did so much stuff together. And then we recorded this album in Fortress Studio in LA, where Kiss recorded "Hut in the Shade." And
Okay,
Tommy
okay, yeah.
Sayer, he was co-producer, who's now playing in Kiss. And it was like, yeah, oh man, it was great. And I did a couple of Kiss songs, which I love so much. It's one song, it's off the Elder album. It's called "Only You." I always loved it. And Gene, he rewrote some lyrics, and then he said, "Hey, you know, check it out." And I thought, oh, it's awesome. I want to do it. So we did "Only You" and some other songs Gene wrote, like "Something Wicked This Way Comes" and "Mirage," and
Mm.
so many cool things. And yeah, so that was actually, yeah, I tell you, I still like, when I think about it, man, I still like, wow, it's great. And it was the same time where, you know, MTV Helping Us Boy was playing all these metal videos, and
Dang.
where it was so important, you know, between videos and records and touring. And yeah, it was top notch, everything. So I have really great memories. And yeah.
Oh. And like how was it, like you said, like you wrote songs with Lemmy, and how was it, like recording songs with Lemmy, and I also saw that you did a song with Twisted Sister too.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, we played together not as well, and yeah, I did one song. It was actually a Christmas song. They called me, and
Yeah.
at first I thought, I don't know if I want to do Christmas songs. I never did it before, and but I was like, okay, it's fun, and we did this Christmas song, and we played. It was called New York Steel, and it was a festival. It was for charity, and we played some other gigs together, and worldwide, like they're doing big festivals. That's great. It's so, and the last time I met Dee, there was we played Rock in Rio together.
Okay.
There's this Brazilian band they call Angra, and the manager, he called me, said, hey, you want to play Rock in Rio? And I said, the real Rock in Rio with millions of people, like I think 500,000 people, like live, in front of the stage, and then it's getting aired all over the world. So, and he said, yes, the real Rock in Rio. And then I hopped on a plane and we played Rock in Rio. And Dee, he was a guest there as well. So we played together and sang together, all these hit songs. And and the last time I saw Dee Snider, it was in Las Vegas. There was this award show. It was called Vegas Rocks, and I got this beautiful award. It was the Metal Legend Goddess Award. And then I thought, wow. And then everybody got an award, like, the Scorpions and all the other cool, musicians and bands. And then we did a nice session by the end of the night for the fans. And it was great. So we sang it together again. And it's actually, he's a great showman, I tell you, man. He's like, powerful. And that was great too. And what you asked me before, how it was writing and then recording with Lemmy, oh man, it was great. I loved him so much, and he was so cool, and and always in the really easygoing, and and he would never sleep. And then he said, hey Doro, after the session, like 4 o'clock in the morning, we were done, and we recorded with Bruce Kulick. It was in his studio, who's unfortunately not anymore with us. But Bruce was a great guy, great guitar player, and we recorded in his studio. And then 4 o'clock in the morning, we were done for the night, and I wanted to drive Lemmy back home. And he said, no, I don't want to just drive. So I drove all night, and then we went straight back into the studio, doing it all again. It was like so many weeks without sleep, and he's cool without, but I was like, oh man, it was wow, it was wild. It was like, and it's awesome. But I could suck it all in, and I got so much energy from it, and and we did actually 3 songs. The last song we did in LA as well, and it was on our album Raise Your Fist, and it was called It Still Hurts, and it's a few years ago. So, but it was awesome, and I went to his funeral few years ago, and there I met everybody. Like Gene Simmons was there, and everybody was there again. We were all like, it was very painful, but on the other hand, it was great to see everybody and to feel so much love, like the rock and metal family. And and I served whiskey, so like outside the church, everybody got shots, and it was like, wow. It was. Like I guess Lemmy would have liked it,
Oh, definitely. And well, one of my all-time best songs that I love that you did is All We Are.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah.
Oh my God, I love that song. So what inspired you to make the song and write it?
Yeah, actually, I love anthems. I love it. I love when everybody sings along, sings their heart out. Like, it's like you can definitely forget all, all the problems. You can just like rock out and sing along. And I always liked anthems, like the anthem before that album, that was True Steel. That was a cool anthem, or Burning the Witches. Everybody sings along to. So we wanted to have like a nice, a nice anthem. And I thought I would love to have like a good message. And I met this great guy in New York, Joey Bannon was his name. And he was a guitar player, and he became the producer. And we were sitting all night writing songs and stuff. And yeah, and then one time we had this melody and the lyrics for All We Are, which are really like positive and stuff. And yeah, and then we invited all our friends. And we had our guitar player, there was Tommy Bowen, he invited all his friends. Yeah, and then I was sitting there, we recorded in the Power Station studio in New York. And I was sitting with the engineer, and then I saw all these people singing. And you could tell everybody's face was lighting up, and there was like so much great metal energy in the room. And then we thought, that's our first single. That must be the single. It was like undeniable. And then we went to LA and do a nice video. It was like a big production with one of the great video directors back then. There were a few names. You had to do it with them because you knew then maybe MTV, they would play the video, but it was sinfully expensive, but we got a good one. It was Mark Ressica, and we filmed it in LA, the LA River Basin, where Terminator 2 was filmed. Like,
Nice.
The truck is chasing the kid.
Yes.
Hopping on his bike and saving the child. So so it was a huge production. And then I remember I was watching Headbangers Ball. I was in New York, watching it. That Headbangers Ball was always a must for all the metalheads, like worldwide. So, and then suddenly the host was Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. And then they said, okay, and here a new band, from Germany. I thought, oh, from Germany? And I thought maybe Accept they're like great band from Germany. I don't know if you know, you probably do, or Scorpions or something. I said, Warlock. And I thought, wow. So Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, they introduced the first time when All We Have played on Headbangers Ball on MTV. And then I could see our video, All We Are. And I tell you, after this one show, the phone didn't stop. And then the manager said, hey, you want to do a club tour? And then first was a small club tour. My first was in Lamoa, Brooklyn, and then Cat Club, and all these Ritz, and all these great clubs in New York. And then, then we went on tour all over. And then tour with Megadeth, which it was in '88, and it was huge. It was huge. It was Megadeth, Warlock, and Sanctuary. And and then we toured after the Triumph and Agony album. We toured in Europe with James Dio, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic. And so so I have the best memories. And All We Are, it was one song which we still play every concert. I think I haven't
definitely.
Played, I played it every single night. Every single night since it was released in '87. And we had one album cover. There was actually, it made the Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh, really?
It was the album cover in the world. I have it here. It's probably too big for the screen. And actually, on the live record, Triumph and Agony Live, we made it even bigger. We made it twice as big, but that's too big to show you. But that was.
Oh my God! Yes.
And here,
wow.
In the stomach, that was like where the record was in. It was a picture disc. I love vinyl and picture disc. There it goes. There it goes. That's the.
Oh wow! Look at that. That is so awesome.
Nice. So you just have to, you have to be careful because it's falling out. But it's still here. And, I never played it. I always wanted to save it, but. That's there it is.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, nice. I still use the same guy. His name is Jeffrey Gillespie. He's doing all our album covers, and great stuff. That's another one. That's Fear No Evil.
Okay, wow.
And when we have like a real metal album, we always use Jeffrey. That's Yeah, that was the last release. I don't know if you know it, but it was Forever Warriors, Forever United. It was like, it looked really nice. That was the first double CD and 6-piece vinyl, colored and the whole stuff. So I know we are just doing a new album. So yeah, and of course I want to have it on vinyl, but it's very hard to get like all the materials at the moment. It's yeah, it's hard to get. So it will
I
take
bet.
between 5 and 7 months. I heard that you can really get the vinyl, like pressed and manufactured. But you gotta have vinyl. I still love old school stuff so much. So I know everybody's doing Spotify and streaming, but I still love their stuff in my hands and like.
Oh, definitely. Like that's what I love about buying records and CDs was the
Yes,
the art. I love the art. Like I love opening up the CD or the record and all the different
yes,
things
yes,
in there, the art, the
yeah,
posters. Oh my
yes.
God, that was amazing. Like streaming doesn't have that.
No, 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 no. You can, yeah. And I always think, man, a whole album, it's a whole, it's a whole piece of like some people do stories, but I always think like, in one song, yeah, you have maybe the hit single, but the whole album, that's important. And thank God all the metalheads they still love, the whole
Oh,
album,
definitely.
it's not like, just singles and stuff. And so yeah, so I love old school stuff. Totally,
Oh
totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. And like what do you love most about being on stage and touring?
The fans. The fans. That's like, yeah, yeah, the fans, that's like, that's to me the most important thing in my world, and it always will be. And it's like it's great when you see the fans like, loving it,
Yeah.
when you see, they're feeling it, when you have the straight connection, like, there's so much, yeah, so much heart and soul and love and metal. It's like, oh, it's out of this world. So it is the fans, and I would go, anywhere and everywhere. And we have been actually sometimes like, things I would have never thought I would go to play. But for example, Thailand, I didn't know that Thailand would have a metal scene, but
Oh
we
wow.
played it, yes, and we played in Australia, and then you have to make a stop, and then we made a stop in Thailand, and then somebody said, hey, let's do a few gigs. And I thought, really? You think people would even show up? Yes. And then we did a couple of gigs in Thailand, and it was so awesome. It was so awesome. So sometimes you wouldn't expect like metalheads there, but then it was
Wow.
awesome.
I would have never
Yeah,
thought that. Wow.
totally, totally. And then the coolest thing was this promoter, it was in Bangkok, and he had a club, a hard rock club or something. And then he said, hey, you guys want to play some more gigs? And we said, well, we got to go back to Europe. We had some other festivals lined up. He said, well, my uncle, he lives on this island. It's called Koh Samui, which is beautiful. I didn't know
Oh,
it before, but now I know. And he said, my uncle, he has a little club. You guys could play there. And we said, yeah, but how is it with promotion? He said, don't worry, don't worry. So we all flew to this little island, Koh
yeah.
Samui, and then I thought nobody would show up. And it was like a little club. And then 6 o'clock in the morning, there was a truck driving around the island, and the island isn't so big, so every 20 minutes you heard like on the truck there was a big PA, and it was blasting loud, oh we are. So every
Oh.
20 minutes you were almost like falling out of your bed with oh we are. And and then they were talking about something show, and it was a sold out place, and people went crazy, and it was so yeah, so I thought, wow, that's how to do promotion right, man. That
Yeah.
people know it, from 6 o'clock in the morning, every 20 minutes. Oh man. Yeah. They must have like, like I don't know. Normal people probably would wouldn't go for that. But I thought that's great, because usually you tour and then people
Hmm.
say, we didn't even know you came to our city and we didn't hear about it. We didn't see any promotion. So yeah, so there are definitely some ways, to do it. And yeah, so there was like one little story where I thought, wow, that was great. And to tell you a little bit how we came to Australia, that was really interesting too. We played in Wacken, which we played there many, many times, and it's really
Okay.
great. The first time Wacken was 1993, and there were maybe 2,000 fans there. And then 3-4 years later, it was like 60,000 fans there, and then 70,000 fans there. And now it's always maxed out, like I think 85,000 fans is capacity. And we played many, many times there. And then you always talk to fans, and they're usually meet and greets and autograph sessions. So you
Yeah.
can definitely get in contact with all the fans from all over the world. And they're definitely from all over the world. It's so awesome. So there were these Australian metalheads, and I said, hey, Doro, can't you guys come and tour Australia? And I said, that would be awesome, but we don't have any contacts. We don't know anybody there. We don't know a promoter, nothing. And then the guy said, we will do it. And I said, what do you mean? He said, yeah, they call it Metal Warriors Australia. And they are like, a group of people which are really, really diehards, like all friends. And I said, we will set it up. And then, to make a long story short, few months later, we went to Australia and we had a great tour there. And the guy, Steve Ravage is his name, he said, well, you guys don't need to take care of hotels, I will provide. And then I
Okay.
think his parents had a big house, and then the parents were somewhere else, sleeping somewhere else, and the whole band could have the whole house, and then we took it from there. So it was great, and that's like, metalheads are all about. Like, it's
Oh,
like
definitely.
connection, friendship, going out of your way, to do something. And it's like, wow, I deeply, deeply appreciate it. And
Oh, wow. And I saw like during COVID, like you were doing drive-in shows too, right?
yes, yes, yes. I heard some musicians said, oh, we would never do it. But I tell you, it's always what you make of it. And I think, and I gave 10 times more power. And, people loved it. And, people had so much fun. And, they were sitting either in their cars or standing on their cars, and like, going full out, singing along, headbanging. And we had a great time. And it was totally safe. And it was definitely better doing that than doing nothing. And we could, keep it all like, yeah, we could keep on doing what we love, So that was, you don't have to stay home or feel stuck. So it was great. And it was a great challenge. So, it was different, but I loved it. It was good. And when you
Wow.
ask the friends, I think everybody had a fantastic time. And, and sometimes, they had one guy or a girl who was driving, and the rest of the guys got so drunk, sometimes they went there with little trucks, and like headbanging and dancing, in the truck. Like, I never even saw that people had so much fun. So it was great. It was great. And there were big screens. So it was cool, man. It was
Wow.
cool. And it was totally different. That's true. But
Well, yeah.
yeah, but it was great. And sometimes we did like a streaming worldwide. So that was good to let other people see it and stuff. And sometimes it was for free. So all the fans worldwide, they could, have a good time, at least for 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was safe. So that was yeah.
Wow. Okay. And like you're still like doing it, like you're still touring and doing music. And how do you keep your energy level up?
Oh, when I think of the fans, then it's immediately right there. I wake up in the morning, I think of the fans, I'm ready to go, and give me a cup of coffee, and I'm ready to rock anytime and anywhere. And it can be big or can be small or can be festivals. So Yeah, and now, yeah, the first festivals are starting. Actually, my first festival this year will be in the States, the M3 Festival on the 6th of May in Maryland. So M3 Festival, we always wanted to play there, and yeah, but the last 2 years was impossible. And then there's another festival planned, so there will be in June, and yeah, and hopefully hop on tour again. And we have many other festivals in Europe, and yeah, so yeah.
And like I was reading like all your clothes on stage are handmade.
Handmade, and it's actually, I don't know if you see it, but it's not real leather. It's all vegan leather, and it feels great. And no animals got killed or harmed. So a few years ago, yeah, it's all handmade. Not by
Wow.
myself. I sometimes do a little bit, but usually it's by people who do it, like And yeah, and a few years ago, I thought, no man, I don't want to, like. Actually, I found out how cruel it is, and how they treat animals. I thought, oh no, just because I want to feel and look cool on stage or wear leather, no. So they're definitely great, like like fake or vegan leathers, and feels great. And ever since, yeah, and I became vegan too. So
Wow.
yeah, all that stuff. And oh yeah, the assistant said I get the 3 minute warning. I don't know if you know that song. It's on the Triumphant Agony album. It's called 3 minute warning. There's some stuff I have to do. Yeah, but yeah. But it's
Okay.
good to talk to another metalhead when I see the Motley Crue
Yeah, the
t-shirt.
Motley Crue shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, super. Oh, yeah, that's fine.
And like horror and metal go hand in hand, like the horror fans and metal fans. What are some horror films that you love watching if you're a fan of horror?
Ah, yeah, Friday the 13th, and of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was my first movie I've seen. I was actually not in Warlock. It was with my first band, Snakebite, and we had one cinema, and it had like one night in, I guess, in 2, 3 months. It was a whole horror night. So we saw all these movies and Exorcist and whatnot. And then the last movie was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it started at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had to work back then. I was a graphic artist, so I said, shall we go and stuff? I had to drive everybody home because I was the only one with a car with a license. And then I was, oh, let's check out the first 5 minutes of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So it started, and like, this film well,
Oh
it
yeah.
starts feeling like, yeah, these teenagers, driving around. And then actually, yeah, of course, we watched the whole movie, and it was like, it was so shocking. It was so shocking. And I know it's somewhere in Texas, right? And I think one time we were on tour, and then the tour manager said, hey, look here, that's where Texas Chainsaw Massacre was filmed, the first one, the
Oh
original one.
wow, yeah.
And I saw a house. I don't know if it was the house, and we went where Exorcist was filmed, and
Nice.
yeah, we stopped there, and then we went up the stairs, and like, oh, and wow, we really felt like there was so much, heavy, dark energy. Like, yeah,
Oh
like the
no.
guitar player and me, we thought, hey, wow, that's unreal. Do you feel that? And I said, yes. Am I making it up? He said, no, I feel the same. So yeah, yeah. But yeah, I like horror movies when you don't feel it. It's like it's for real. I rather like to see a movie because, man, I think worldwide there's so much stuff going on.
Mhm.
So I like when you still feel it's a movie.
Oh,
Of
definitely.
course, and Jason Voorhees, I like, of course, that's, all my friends love him. So, yeah.
And are you working on any new songs?
Yes, actually, yeah, working on a new album, and I really, yeah, pretty metal, and of course anthems. And I love ballads. I definitely love ballads and like in soulful songs, but will be very metal as well. And I hope it will come out next year. We will definitely, put it all together. I have already, I think I have 40 songs to pick and choose from.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty, it's pretty far. So, but it will be not a double album again, like, like the last one that took years and years to do, had 25 songs on it, the Forever, Always Forever United. But this one will be one single piece, but nice. And and I'm already really happy. I think songs are strong. And there's a movie thing in the making. So that's something I couldn't tell you the title yet, but there's something great in the making. I think, right, what you and your fans would like, and so maybe I can tell you some more in the next 6-7 months. But
Yeah,
there will
definitely.
be, a song in the movie. Maybe I will play part in the movie. So it's all like, it's in the making as we speak. So I hope it will work out.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. And I saw you had an action figure too. You were showing me before we went live.
Sure. And then there it is. It's like it was it was like from the album cover. I think the Warlock came out pretty good, and it was hand painted, so every face was different. And some fans said, "Oh, I got too much makeup on," and but it's always up to taste. But yeah, that's the action figure. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that is so awesome. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
That's
me
so
too,
awesome.
me too, me too. And it was in this box, like we always do box sets, and it was this beautiful box. And I think it looks maybe not exact like the painting, but pretty close, and it's fun, and it's for collectors, it's for the diehards and
Oh,
stuff. And
definitely. Yeah. And where can fans find you at? Like, what's your pages, your socials?
it's actually the website is doro.us or doromusic.com, whatever, it's the same. And on Facebook, it's Doro Pesch Official. And Instagram, it's Doro Metal Queen. And Patreon, we are doing Patreon, which is a
Nice.
great thing, by the way. And that the diehard fans can, get in contact, and it definitely makes you help to survive, and the last 2 years. So that's awesome. Like that kind of fan club thing, I love. Patreon, it's just Doro Pesch, Patreon Doro Pesch. And that's and all over, and Twitter and all. Just check out Doro, and you will find many pages, fan pages as well. But they're always doing a great job. Many of the fans, they're
Sweet.
taking care of stuff and all. But for the tour dates, it's Doro.us, and we're just like getting it all together. So the whole year will be probably like live and finishing the new album. And doing this movie, and let's see. So maybe next time, if we want to talk again, then maybe I can
Oh,
tell you more.
definitely. Yes. Well,
And it's right up your taste. I can.
nice. Well, Dora, thank you so much for taking time out and coming on the show. It was such
Thank
an honor.
you.
It was so much fun talking to you, the Queen of Metal. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much too, and all your fans, and lots of power, metal, good movies, and and I wish everybody the best. Stay healthy and keep on rocking. And I hope I see you soon, eventually on festivals or tour or
Oh, definitely
wherever.
will. Definitely will.
Cool. Then have a good one, and hopefully talk soon in the near future.
Yes, for sure. Thanks so much again. Definitely have a good night and good weekend.
Yes, thank you so much. And I will go, back into the studio and do some more work. Being all charged up now, and yeah. Okay, good. Then have a great one, and talk soon, and stay
Definitely.
metal.
Yes.
Ciao.